First order of business, though, I got to get some news out of the way, okay? Klay Thompson. Got to get right into it. Klay Thompson, 35 points last night. That's not a big deal. The big deal is that he did it coming off the bench. He hadn't been benched in years, okay? In years. But he came off the bench last night because Steve Kerr obviously felt there was a need to do so. This kid, Podziemski, is really, really balling for the Golden State Warriors. He's looking very, very impressive. Klay Thompson has not. Klay Thompson ranks dead last in the NBA in clutch shooting. A minimum of 35 attempts is the category. Clutch shooting, last 5 minutes, within 5 points of the game. That's what Klay Thompson is doing, shoot 27%. That's worse than the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the greatest, most prolific shooters we've ever seen in NBA history having these kind of struggles shooting the basketball. So obviously, if you're Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors, you think change is the order of the day. And Podziemski in the backcourt with Steph Curry is a direction they feel they need to go in, okay? The Warriors are now won 6 of their last 7, following a 141-37 victory over the Utah Jazz. Klay Thompson has 35 points. Draymond Green tripped in 33 points. Their defense has been exponentially better since Draymond Green has returned from suspension. They're locked in right now as the 10th seed in the Western Conference, which means they would be in the play-in tournament. So we got to take all of those things into consideration, see it for what it is, and say this about the Golden State Warriors. They are still alive, and as long as they're alive and breathing, they are a threat. If the question is about Klay Thompson, here's what I'm looking at. So many people speculated that the big problem for him was the fact that he couldn't reach a contractual accord, couldn't get the money that he wanted, the commitment that he wanted from the Golden State Warriors. So because of that, he was pouting, he was a bit sullied, he was a bit upset, etc., etc. That's what they said about him. My thing is that you can shoot or you can't. And this is one of the great shooters we've ever seen. So nobody wants to hear that. He certainly didn't look depressed last night coming off the bench, dropping 34. When your shot is falling, you're happy. When your shot's not falling, you're not happy. And he's had his struggles, rather, quite often this season. But to me, Klay Thompson would still be wanted by at least 27 other teams in the NBA. Shoot 41% from the field. I can name a bunch of guys that shoot worse or around that number. The dude is shooting 37% from three-point range. I know a number of people that would pray to have somebody that could shoot 37% from three-point range. Okay? So let's get that out the way right now, understanding that if you are Klay Thompson, you're in a position to really make some noise for yourself. And if you're the Golden State Warriors, you're also checking yourself as well, because what you want to see is how he's going to react to coming off the bench. You want to see, if you're Klay Thompson, how you're going to feel about coming off the bench. And if it is deduced that indeed it's something that could work beneficially for all parties concerned, then you may not have to leave Golden State this summer after all. Or you can view yourself as being an asset to somebody else who's going to give you more money than the Golden State Warriors are willing to give you. All of those things are up for grabs. All of those things are there for the taking. And I say it's really, really interesting to see what happens, okay? Remember, Thompson's a 4-time NBA champion, a 5-time All-Star. He snapped a streak of 727 games starting for the Warriors. We got to mention that, okay? But he didn't whine about it by Coach Steve Kerr. In fact, he sizzled, all right? Because what I just said, 13 and 22 shooting for the 35 points. Overall, it could have been a tough moment for this future Hall of Famer. Instead, he balled and surpassed the 15,000 point mark in his career in the process, by the way, something he would have done a while ago had he not had the Achilles injury and the ACL injury, not necessarily in that order.